Sashimi. 3, 2, 1.
Hello guys, Tuna back again. It's time with a review of the Astro City Mini that's just got released on the 17th of December by Sega for their 60th anniversary. It's pretty much a 1/6 size Astro City cab with 37 built-in games. It does have a screen, so you can play on the machine itself. It does have micro switch joystick and micro switch buttons as well, like the arcade, like little mini arcade buttons as well. The machine itself is perfectly playable on. In fact, I've almost finished a couple of games actually playing on the machine. For what this review is, I bought the machine, I bought the joypad, I bought the arcade stick, and I bought the base. And I wanted to have a really good go of it before I review it. Like a lot of YouTubers just had it for 20 minutes, had a quick look at it and reviewed it. I didn't want to do that. I actually wanted to play it properly. So over the last couple of days and the weekend, I've streamed it for about 8 hours, playing the games on you. I finished Fantasy Zone on you, and I've played through quite a few of the other games. I've been testing stuff and playing games actually on the screen as well, on the machine, using the buttons, testing the joypad and testing the arcade stick. So before we go any further, I just want to wish everyone a happy Christmas and a happy New Year. I know this year's been a bit shitty and it's still ongoing and it's probably not going to get much better for ages, but hopefully there's a bit of joy this Christmas, or what Christmas this is going to actually be, because no one can see anyone. And anyway, hope a nice Christmas, everyone has something nice, and hope it's a nice Christmas anyway, and hopefully next year is going to be better. So Merry Christmas, guys. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just talk about the joypad and the joystick and the machine, and then I'm going to go through the games, and I'm going to just give you a quick sort of overview of the game and what I think of it. This machine does have various settings. I'll run for them as well. So what I'll do, I'll link the review to my unboxing video, as long as you promise not to take a piss out of me for the box ripping. But yeah, so basically it's a 1/6 size version of the Astro City cab. The Sega commissioned themselves. I don't know who done the emulation for it, but I know they got Hero as one of the Sega composers in to do the menu music and various other things for you. The guy who commissioned it at Sega wanted to commission something special, and the Astro City cab was something special for Sega. It was really famous in Japan and people want to buy them now these days, and Virtua Fighter was one of those games that was really popular in Japan on the machine. So he went round all the Sega developers who are still working at Sega now from back in the day when these got released, and asked them what were their favourite games of the time or they played on the Astro City cab, and then they came up with a list of 37 games chosen by the Sega developers themselves, and they've made this machine basically with these games on. And I'm going to say, yeah, you know, you're always going to get some smart ass say, oh, but you can play these on a RetroPie. Yes, you can. You can play them on PCs. I can play them on all sorts of things. I've got access to everything. But that's not the point of these machines. These machines are a collector's piece with some nice games on them, and they're a fun little, I won't say toy. I suppose they are a toy essentially, but they're a fun little machine with, you can have a lot of fun playing on the games room with people. So, and if you couldn't afford to buy these games, like buying some of these games on you, it'd be ridiculous basically now. You could play for these games and have fun in 2-player, you could play in your own, and they're just fun little things, and that's what they are basically. They're not replacements for a PC or anything. But what Sega actually did as well, which I'm quite surprised, instead of taking the game ROMs from MAME or getting them off the internet, they actually went out and bought all the arcade boards and dumped all the ROM chips off the arcade boards because they didn't have the actual code themselves. And apparently some of these boards, they had to buy multiple versions of the boards to get working ROM chips. Sorry, I had to cough in. So yeah, so they went full out. They really went for the authentic sort of ROM chips. So nothing has been changed. They are what they are. Before we go on, I will say the emulation on this thing is pretty perfect. The emulation seems really good. There is a slight discrepancy with the vertical scrolling games, which there's not many of them to be honest, but there's only a few, but they do have a little bit of that sort of emulation shimmer on the vertical scrolling games, which tends to be the two shoot 'em ups mainly. And what's the other one? There may be one or two other games that suffer from it, but there's only a few games on here got it, and it's not really an issue, but it's something to point out. The horizontal scrolling game's perfect. Is not a problem. The screen itself on the machine is a 16 by 9 inch screen, so it's a wide screen essentially, but all games are in 4.3 and you can put borders on the side of them, so it's all fine, it's all great. So I'll go into the options. You got your please read, which is just be wary whatever. You got your language settings, but so various languages we want to put in English. The copyright information is insane, it just keeps going forever. You got a brightness setting, which is only for the actual machine itself. Same with the volume. Still coughing. It's not coronavirus, honest. Screen settings, you got your default pixel look, so it's a proper pixel look, or you've got analog scanlines. Scanlines are not very good on this. They're too big, and the gaps between them are too big. It's like they should have doubled the scanlines, maybe tripled them to make them look really good, made them thinner. But we'll show you the analog scanlines first. The borders, you can have no border, you can have like a design border, or you can have the Astro City border, but we'll go with no border for now. And then there's a factory reset. The menu's really nice, it's got really cool music, and I like the fact when you go into menus, it drops some of the tracks out of the music, which is quite a cool little touch. So the menus are really fast to use, perfect really for what you want. And also some games have a BGM option. The way Sega were talking about this, I thought it was going to be they'd have a BGM player, so you go into it and you can play music from some of the games. It's just one music track, so if I press the button there now, you'll play one of the Virtua Fighter tracks. Unfortunately, it's only certain games have got it. So I say the arcade stick which I'm using now, which I've plugged in, the arcade stick I can confirm comes with Sanwa arcade stick and Sanwa buttons. It's a repurposed Virtua Fighter high grade stick, so it's really heavy, really well made. You just would not want to drop this on your foot. That's all I could say. Solid construction. It is hard plastic on the top. It has a thick metal base on it, and there's a metal weight on the inside. So this stick is heavy. Very nice arcade stick indeed. It will work on the PC. Comes up and tells you what stick it is as well on the PC. It'll probably work on the PlayStation. Well, it does work on the PlayStation Classic. I think I tried it. So a very nice stick. You can mod it. I unfortunately did a modding video, but the video didn't come out correctly. It wouldn't play, so I had to scrap it. Unfortunately, I'd already modded it, so it's a shame. When you take it apart, it's very clean on the inside, very well made. You can take the buttons out and mod them really easy to whatever snap-in buttons, or you could use the screw-in buttons. They'd all work. The stick itself, Shimizu stick might be a bit awkward to get in here because there's no mounting bracket for it. The mounting bracket is for a Sanwa stick, like on the Sega Astro control panels, where they screw in with the two screws left and right. So unfortunately, you would either have to modify the mount on the inside, or make a mount to actually fit the Shimizu stick. Then you would have there's like plastic in the middle of the stick with a dimple in it for the arcade stick. You would have to grind that away, I think, and grind a hole in it for the Shimizu stick to fit in there and spin around. All right, it's not impossible. You could do it, but generally, Sanwa stick's the only one that's going to fit in here. The joypad itself is not as good as the Saturn pad, or the Sega Mega Drive 6-button pads, but the D-pad is really nice on it. I streamed on it for about 5.5 hours using the pad, and I had no problems. All the angles work perfect, all the buttons work perfect. It's comfortable to use. My joypad, the D-pad is at a slight angle, which is a bit odd, but it doesn't affect you at all when you're playing. And the D-pad seems really nice, got nice grips on it as well, and it's all styled in the Astro City style, the same as the joystick is. And it'd be a handy pad if you would just wanted the pad just to pick it up and use it on MAME on the PC. So let's do it then. So let's go through all these games. I'm just going to do a short overview of each game, what I think of them, and then otherwise this review will end up going on for about 4 hours. So Virtua Fighter, very popular in Japan. When you start up, it tells you the buttons. They've very conveniently done auto fire on all games that need it, including the right frequency of the auto fire as well. So, you know, a couple of fires every 20 seconds, 30 seconds, milliseconds. So they've corrected the auto fire and stuff. There is save states as well, which you can load in instantly. So if you press the start and coin together once you're in, I say these are what the scan lines look like. They're not great, basically. They're too big and they're too thick. They need to be a lot thinner. And they don't look great on the screen either. So I won't be using them. I am going to kick them off. It's a shame. I don't know what it is. All these mini consoles, no one can seem to get scan lines properly. I really don't know why that is. So anyway, pixel look it is, which is fine. So we'll go back into the game. Once you're in the game, you can play it, press 2 buttons together at any point, which is the start and coin, and you can save state, and then you can load state. So if I save state there, and then go back, you can load state there. And it's really fast as well, the save, so you can use it for practicing. A couple of things I will point out on this machine. People are going to say, oh, you could just play it on MAME. Well, some of these games on here don't work correctly on MAME. They have graphical glitches or sound glitches, and they don't run correct. Being Virtua Fighter being one of them. And they all the emulation, apart from one game, which I'm not entirely sure of, seems perfect. And the games that don't run correct in MAME are basically Virtua Fighter, Radmobile, Golden Axe Revenge of Death Adder, Dark Edge, Crackdown, and Arabian Fight. They've all got graphical glitches and they don't run correct. Even though they do work, they're not correct, basically. So, let's chuck a coin in. I say this is the first 3D fighting game, essentially. I say it doesn't play amazing these days, but it was really popular in Japan. It's quite basic compared to the other Virtua Fighter games. Yokomo from Retrocore pointed this out. On some of the replays, you get a little bit of slowdown, especially the overtop one. I don't know whether that is like it on the original arcade machine or not. So, but apart from that, it's perfect. I say this is, see, you see a little bit of slowdown with there, which is a bit strange. I don't know whether the arcade one does that. Say this was pretty much the first 3D fighting game. Say this game spawned various sequels. Games like Tekken and everything all came out after this. Say Virtua Fighter, alright, it's not the greatest fighting game in the world now compared to the latest ones, but it is a classic of its time. I think it's okay. I can see why they put it on here because it was really popular in Japan, and I have seen a couple of tournaments on this. Basically on playing on the actual machine as well, so it's just quite cool. So there's quite a few puzzle games on here, so we'll go start going through them. There's probably a little bit too many columns on here. I think there's 3 different versions of columns. Must have been popular in Japan. So columns, this is like a tournament version of columns. Columns, basically, you get diamonds falling from the screen, top of the screen, and you basically have to match them in free. So it's either vertical, horizontal, or you can do it on the angle. So if I do that, I'll show what I mean now. And then you can basically do chain reactions as well. So if I do that, they'll drop down there and then you'll get chain reactions. It's not a bad puzzle game, columns, but it's not the greatest of puzzle games out there. So I'll do that in the middle and you get the angle. So yeah, so basically it's a 2-player version. They should have put Sega Tetris on it, but maybe there was a licensing issue or whatever. But yeah, columns is okay. It's not the greatest puzzle game in the world. These might be quite interesting. These are the Cant games that's been released on the Switch. These are like, basically, you play the game, put credit in, you get multiple puzzle games to play, and then you can play against each other on it. These actually might be quite good fun. I've never really played them, apart from what I played them on here, so these were new for me. Oh, okay, let's try the UFO. You can quite easily pick which one you want. That's quite funny, if you got a Daytona guy. That's quite funny, it's got Daytona music. Yeah, so you do lots of little mini games like this. They say these might actually be quite fun in 2-player. They're fun little games just to play through and see all the mini games. They say there's 2 of these on, yeah? So you get the idea. Lots of various different mini games. They say they might be interesting. There's 2 Puyo Puyo games on here, I believe. Puyo Puyo is really popular in Japan. I don't know whether it's more popular than Tetris, but it is really popular. I say these games did get released on loads of consoles, SNES, Mega Drive. I think this one's on the SNES. I do like this better than Columns, to be honest. Basically, you got to join together 4 of the little orb things, all the Puyo Puyos, and then they join together basically, and then the chain reaction goes down. You can get chain reactions on this as well. Like, I'll see if I can set up one now. Let's see if I can set up a chain reaction. No, I can't now. He's bloody them over me. So the more chain reactions you get, it knocks them onto the other side, and that's how you win matches. So the idea is trying to set up quite big chain reactions. I think people who are really good at this, really good at doing the chain reaction stuff. I'll drop that down. So I do like this game better than Columns. So you get the idea. It's like Puyo Puyo is quite a cool little puzzle game. I like Puyo Puyo. Not as much as Tetris, but I still like it. I say this game, I'm not sure whether this was a really old Sega arcade game. I'm assuming it probably was. It's obviously this is just on here as a bonus essentially. The idea is you've got to take everything out of this maze, which looks very much like the maze in Mario Kart. And you collect all the dots, and don't run into that cross. If the cross gets you, you're in trouble. The second level, I've got past the first level. The second level, the cross moves at stupid speeds. It's ridiculously fast. I knew it was going to tricking me, that was. You get the idea. You probably this is just put in as a bonus essentially. I'd have to read up on this and see where this actually came from. I don't think that's anything you're going to play more than once or twice. Right, so Flicky. This is Sega's classic arcade game Flicky that's been converted to God knows how many different consoles. I wasn't overly fussed on this at first, but I started playing it on here. It is actually quite a good game. The idea is you've got to use your little duck thing, collect all the little chicks, and you've got to get the chicks to the exit before the cats get you. You can pick up flower pots and various other things, and you can use them flower pots to check at the cats. Say this game gets quite addictive after a while. I see my mate play this quite a bit. He likes it. So I got the cat then. So I get these chicks to the exit. I don't think I've missed one. And then you get more and more chicks, and the levels get really different and more maze-like. And you get more cats and stuff. So it's quite an addictive old school game. I think it's from 1984. Oh, I should have gone the other way. See, the game does have a little bit of momentum to it, so that's flicky. It's quite a nice game, flicky, actually. And I will admit, I wasn't overly fussed on it at first, but yeah, it's quite good when you get into it. Ninja Princess, or The Ninja, which it was called on the Master System, and I think it was just called Samurai Ninja or something on the SG-1000. It's just a good game. I like this game. Basically, if you want to play this game and you've got a Master System, play the Ninja. It's the same game, just slightly changed. Same level setup. So you've got this Ninja Princess. One of the buttons shoots straight forward every time. One shoots at wherever angle you are, and you can disappear to dodge bullets. It's quite a cunning game. It gets quite hard, and you get various levels like logs going down the river, and you've got to go through a canyon with boulders. You've got to fight a boss at the end of each levels. You've got to try and get to the end, and I think it loops then, basically. It is a good game, I like it. Got a power up, which I've got now, so I've got a giant ninja star. It's quite an addictive little game, and it's a really good Master System game. You get the idea? I like Ninja Princess, that's a good one, that is. That's an old arcade game. What was it? System 1, 1985? Yeah, it was 84, flicky. Yeah, this seems a bit of an odd one to put on here. It was on the Master System on the card games. Or the My Cards, I think they were called. Yeah, someone must have really liked this game at Sega. I don't know whether I mentioned that Sega commissioned this, and they, like I said, the developers themselves picked the games actually on here, so obviously some developer really like My Hero. Very simple game, nowhere near as good as Kung Fu Master, but you've got to be quite precise with your punches on this as well. And you've got a fly kick, and you've got a down kick. It's tricky, this game is. It's really tricky, actually. And you got me. Yeah, so basically you can just keep going through the levels, and there's various things going on. Yeah, it's not a great game, but it's worth a buzz on. Right then, now we're starting to get into the good stuff. Apart from Sega Ninja Princess. So as you can see, they've really thought about the controls on each of the games. So if you need an auto fighter, they've set up auto fight, and you can reverse the controls, which is quite nice.
Welcome to the fantasy zone. Get ready.
I love this game.
Welcome to the fantasy zone. Get ready.
Fantasy Zone is an absolute classic that was everywhere back in the day when I was a kid. You'd see it everywhere. It was always the hydraulic machines all over the place, which I never see anywhere these days. Big, like, sort of outrun hydraulic sit-down machine. Sega was always big, loud, and impressive looking back in the day in the arcades. And this game is no exception. This game has been converted to so many different things. Very popular game. And I did see Mikado finish this on one credit, actually using the actual controls on the actual Astro City Mini. Like I say, it's perfectly viable to play games on your desk on there. That's Space Area, absolute classic. I do love that game. It's a really good one. Another game I like a lot as well. Fantasy Zone was set in the same universe as Space Area, funny enough. This game's brilliant. And it has nice autofire. You need autofire for this game. If it didn't have autofire, that would be a massive fail on this game. Otherwise, you've got to try and... You just can't fire fast enough. You need the autofire. I say autofire, you get in all Japanese arcades end up having autofire on the cabs, so it's fine by me. You can buy weapons and speed-ups in this game. So this game is pretty much like Defender, but you've got to blow up the bases, and then once you've blown up all the bases, you get to a boss. Sounds simple, can get quite hard later on. But it's a really good fun game, and I really like the arcade with this. The second one came out on the Master System first, and then got converted to the arcade by M2. And the second game is really good as well. That's all the bases done, and then the arcade, then the boss will turn up. The weapons in this don't last long either, they're all on timers. And once you collect the boss, you beat him, collect all the coins, and then you can buy more stuff in the shop. Brilliant game. That's fancy zone. Wonderboy. This might be the only game on here which the emulation is slightly off. There are, like I said, one or two of the vertical games do have that sort of shimmer, which is a little bit of a shame. But horizontal games are fine. But there's only one or two games that suffer, so I'll put up with. I'm willing to put up with. But this game, I don't know whether the arcade is like this and whether it was smoothed out in MAME, but it's a little bit juddery if you look at it. I have seen Mikado actually finish this as well. It's fine, but it looks a little bit juddery, but I'm not sure whether, without being able to see the arcade board itself, I'm not sure whether the arcade one is like this. It might be like it's on the arcade. And using VSync on MAME is smoothing it out, because actually that might be what it is. I don't know. But this one seems a little bit juddery for some reason. But I'm not willing to call it whether it's supposed to be like this. But say Wonderboy is a classic that was Adventure Island on the NES. I say Sega never owned the Wonderboy game. Well, they owned the Wonderboy name, but not the games. So, but it is a classic. Another classic is Quartet. It's not actually Quartet 2, it's Quartet 1. Because they only ever made a first one. But this is the 2-player version, because it was originally a 4-player game. This game does have some really cool music as well. Idea is, you go through the level, kill the boss, only keys open doors, and open the door, go to the next level. See, it's an old arcade game, this is. But it is good. You get a little rocket booster to fly. You do get power-ups as well. I do like this music track, it's class. There's a really nice conversion of this on the PS2 done by M2. This and SDI on the one disc. I've got that disc somewhere as well. You gotta watch, this boss will ram you eventually. You only come so far though, so you're alright. Yeah. Get a key, get the end of the level. Next level. The levels do change, they get more maze-like and the bosses get harder and there's a lot more enemies. But this is a fun one, I like this game. So it does have some really cool music. That's a good one as well. So this machine does have some really good games. So Alex Kidd, the first Alex Kidd game. I don't know whether this was the first game or whether the Master System was. Not sure. I think this may have been the first one. This pretty much, I'm the Miracle Ball. It's basically a platform game. You can pick up a fire stuff you can fire, but this looks like a crazy hard platform game. It's very tricky. I've seen replays of this and it looks hard as nails. It looks like it takes a hell of a lot of practice to actually know what you're doing on you. I say input lag in this thing. I can't even feel any. Feels fine to me. On the other minis, I can feel the input lag. On this one, I can't. I'm not saying there isn't any, because there must be, but it's probably a frame or two, maybe. Without testing it, like I said, I can't tell. It's not a bad little game, this ain't. It's not brilliant, but it's hard as nails. You could die really fast, and it is 2-player. Alien Syndrome, another arcade classic. I do like this game. Basically, you set in an alien base. You've got to collect all the enemies before you get to a boss. Time can run out for you. I like this game. It's good. I have been playing it a little bit lately.
The time bomb is set.
So basically, you run round. You can pick up. You can have a look at the map, and it tells you all those red dots and the guys you're going to pick up, and you can pick up weapons from the walls. Oh, it got me. Yeah, there's eight bases, I think it is altogether, and then you get a boss at the end of each one. Once you rescue the guys, you go to a level and get a boss. Enemies get harder and harder, and they do fire at you as well. So you just got to rescue everyone. I think the firing you want is that. You can see the ones that have gone on the map, so you can use the little map icons. It gets quite cunning later on as well. They're very maze-like, and because the time gets low. You've got to know roughly which way to go to get the enemies. Pick up save the little guys, and then to get to the exit. So that's Alien Storm. I like that one. That's a good one as well. Wonderboy Monsterland. This is one of my favourite arcade games. This is the second Wonderboy game, and improved a huge amount on the first one. This one's more like a little sort of adventure game. You've got to talk to people. There is little quests you've got to do as you go along to get different weapons and to get the legendary sword at the end. So you do need to talk to people and do little tasks. Unfortunately, this is all in Japanese. Lucky enough, I do know where to go everywhere on this, but yeah, if not, it might be a little bit hard, unfortunately. This was only officially translated on the 360 and the Wii, and I think it was a Wii Virtual Console that did the first proper translation of it. There never was an English arcade version. There was a bootleg English arcade version. Basically, you work your way through the levels. You can get armor and swords, and you fight bosses. Brilliant game, is this? Really good. Almost dead. When you kill the bosses, you get coins, which then you can use to buy armor. And I say there's secrets everywhere in this game. So, and if you are playing this on it, when you pick up the coins, if you waggle the joystick fast enough, like if you waggle really fast, sometimes you get 67 coins. That's like a little cheat. Say, brilliant game, guys. I love that game. Shinobi, another absolute classic. You guys have probably played Shinobi.
Mission 1.
One of the coolest ninja games ever. And everywhere in the arcades. Plays perfect. I can't see any lag. One thing, a lot of the mini consoles have sound lag. I can't notice any at all in this. I've tried looking for it as well, and I can't notice it. Someone will probably say there is, but maybe there is, I don't know, but I can't notice it. So basically, you work your way through the levels. Each level, you got 2 levels and a boss at the end. Got ninja magic as well. Of course. You get 1 ninja magic per stage. Which you use like there's different types of magics. See, brilliant game, classic. Takes a lot to get good at it. See, this is one of the vertical games. And I'll show you what I mean about the little shimmer. Not a bad shoot 'em up, actually. It's hardly anything. See the little shimmer on the plants? That's pretty much what I'm talking about. And it's only the vertical games that got that, but there's not many vertical games. Like I said, there's an autofire on here as well, which is nice. It's not really, it's just a little bit of a distraction on what could have been perfect if they'd managed to get rid of that shimmer. But like I say, it's probably something to do with the aspect ratio and the fact that you're running on a 16.9 screen in 4.3. But it is there on the vertical games. So Sonic Boom's not a bad little shoot 'em up. It's pretty tricky, mind. One of Sega's old arcade games. So that's a pretty good one as well. Altered Beast. This game does not get enough love. I really like Altered Beast. But everyone says it's crap.
Rise from your grave.
Basically, you fight your way through 5 levels, and you pick power-ups off those blue dogs now. One will jump at me in a minute. You got to know where the dogs are as well, because they get a bit hard to get sometimes. And you get various power-ups, and then eventually you turn into a creature like a werewolf or a tiger or a bear or a dragon. Take 3 power-ups to basically get powered up. Wonder if I can get the werewolf. Oh, I missed him. If you miss him, you got to do another round, and then you fight the boss. If you miss it for the 3 rounds, you fight the boss without the actual power-up. But yeah, I like Alder Beast, so that's a good one. Mega Drive conversion of that is also very good. Say, System 24 now, so we're going up in the hardware a bit. This is a quite nice shoot 'em up as well. It does, like I said, this one does also have that little bit of a shimmer. When you play it, it's not that noticeable, but it is there. Also another hard old school shooter, but quite fun. There is a mass system conversion of this as well. Yeah, so this is pretty good. It's hard, mind. It's got those Battle Grieger type bullets on you. Like how they look like little missiles, which you've got to keep an eye out for, because they look very similar to yours. Yeah, so that's a good one as well. Wonderboy 3. This is the original Wonderboy 3. This is a brilliant arcade game. This is really good. And there's an amazing conversion of this on the PC Engine. The PC Engine version doesn't have the parallax scrolling, but graphics are pretty much the same. And the PC Engine one has an amazing TD soundtrack. Basically, it's a forced scrolling game. So I'll try and run through the level. You can speedrun this as well, essentially, because you can run through the levels. The first level's not too bad to run through. If you hold up in mid-air as well, you do, that's a good fire noise. You do like a slight float, which comes in handy later on. See, this game's got good music as well. Oh, that's 2 speed of Russia. 2 players as well, this. You got to keep like in Wonderboy 1, you got to keep collecting the fruit in it to keep your energy going. And when you get hit, you lose a bit of the energy. But then it turns into a shoot 'em up with shoot 'em up bosses. See, well recommended. There's a nice Mega Drive version as well. Well, the PC Engine is the best version, but brilliant game as. Game Ground, another vertical game. This is a little bit different. I didn't like this game at first, and I dismissed it for not being very good, but it is actually quite a good game, but it's long. Idea is, you got a choice of characters. They've got different styles. I think this is one of the I think this is another game that doesn't work correctly in MAME. Just come out, well, not just come out, it's on the Switch as well. So your idea is you either kill all the enemies on screen, and that ends the level, or you get all your little guys to the top of the screen, and one I've got following now, you can rescue them, and once you've rescued them, you can use them in the next stage. So the idea of this is basically trying to get as many characters as possible. There's loads of different characters, so that's the one I just rescued. And basically you just fight your way through each level, and it gets more maze-like, and it gets harder and harder. Like I said, I did dismiss this game back in the day as being a bit crap, but it's actually quite a good game. I like it. Crackdown. There is a conversion of this on the Mega Drive. I'm pretty sure some of the computers had conversions of this as well. This is quite a nice arcade game. The Mega Drive version is a bit different. Hard arcade game. You've got to plant bombs. Where those little arrows are is where the bomb is. You've got to plant the bomb as you work through the levels. So you can shoot enemies, and you can duck up against walls to get out of the bullets. And you can do smart bombs. Pick up weapons. Harder than it looks, this game. And you can stab as well. And later on, they will start firing at you. Once you get here, you plant a bomb. And you've got a time limit, basically. This is 2 players. I say it's another game I like. It's slow, and I did see it in an arcade in Barbados. I used to be in the arcade down there for years. I don't know whether it's still there. It might be. I don't know if anyone plays on it, but the arcade is definitely a tricky beast. You got to learn it. So, okay, Crackdown's good. And if you want a slightly alternative version, I would go with the Mega Drive versions. That's really good as well. Golden Axe, the classic arcade beat 'em up by Sega. Brilliant Mega Drive conversion. Well-loved game this is. There's probably not much I need to say about this, really. Fantasy adventure game, 3 different characters, 2-player. Work your way through Turtle Village and various other persons fighting bosses, and to fight Death Adder right at the end. Each character, they do have various moves, and they do have magic as well, which you can power up. Yep, that's a classic game, that is. eSWAT. eSWAT on the Mega Drive is a different game to this. Mega Drive version's good, but it's not as good as the arcade one. Basically, the first couple of levels, you haven't got your suit. After you kill 3 bosses, you get your mech suit. This game is quite tricky, actually. I think you've got to take your time. I managed to get to level 4 on 1 credit. Wouldn't mind trying to 1cc this, but oop. Fight one down then. If you stand up, a lot of the enemies on this, you can force them to fire at you if you're standing or ducking down. You basically collect the free. You go through the levels, you kill the 3 bosses, and then you get your mech suit, and you can jump up and down as well, but like sort of Shinobi. It's a really cool game as well. And one I'm definitely going to try in 1 credit. Shadow Dancer, the arcade. There is a proper conversion of this on the Master System, which is bizarre. The Mega Drive got a version of Shadow Dancer, which is completely different to the arcade, and the Mega Drive one is better. The Mega Drive game is really good, but the arcade's good as well. Basically, this is the second Shinobi game. The idea with this one is you can use your dog. So if you can't get to an enemy, your dog will tackle him. Handy for the guys with guns. Same as Shinobi, you get two or 3 levels and then you fight a boss. So a game well worth playing as well. But like I say, if you do want to check out a really awesome version of this, try the Mega Drive one, it's really good. Not to say the arcade one's bad either, mine, but Alien Storm is also a really good conversion of this on the Mega Drive. But it's not as good as the arcade one. It's a really nice looking arcade game.
Let's get him.
Let's get him. She's on helium or something. Yeah, this is a scrolling beat 'em up. Another classic arcade game that looked fantastic back in the day when it came out. It was really impressive. It's got some impressive running levels and like 3D shooting levels. So you got a smart bomb, you got a quick attack. gets you out of trouble. And the Mega Drive version's good as well, but it's a little bit different to the arcade. See if I can get to the our move's good for getting you out of trouble. You can run and do a jump attack as well. I'll show you the shooting stages. This is where you usually fight a boss. So, that's Alien Storm, that's another excellent arcade game. The original columns. Sorry for this long review, guys, but I just got a quick look at all the games in it. I like to do long reviews, I don't know why. I can't do short reviews, it's a nightmare. I like to give people loads of information. So if you want to see a lot of these games, me playing through quite a bit of them, have a look at my live stream. I do tend to stream on the weekends as well, so I'll play various games basically. But yeah, columns, the same as the other columns, but this is the original version. Like I said, not the best puzzle game in the world, but it's on you. Bonanza Brothers. Game that I've never really liked, to be honest, but the more I play it, the more I think that this might actually be a fun little puzzle game. Ah, so that's what I think is at the beginning of the web training stage. So you're a burglar base, you can play in 2 players and you've got to pick up the treasure and get away. So you can do cunning things like you can open the door into people's faces. You can shoot them as well. So you can basically go down and shoot them. You can jump as well. You can also shoot those guys from behind. So you basically collect all the treasure and you've got to escape without being caught. But this game gets harder and harder as you go through it. I say, I didn't really like this game, but the more I play it, the more I think it might actually be good. Another Columns game. I never really played Columns 2. I'm pretty sure this is on the PlayStation 2. Yeah, this has got flash columns, whatever. Yeah, you got a certain amount of time, I think, basically, to get through this and get rid of all the gems. So a slightly different play on columns, but it's columns. Too many columns. Thunder Force AC. So this is Thunder Force 3, but it's the arcade version of Thunder Force 3. This is pretty good. Not as good as the Mega Drive one, mine, but it is pretty good. Thunder Force games are good. This is slightly different to the Mega Drive one. It's got some new levels and stuff on here. It does have very good music, but I will say the Mega Drive music's better than the arcade one. Classic Mega Drive game. Now and again, I've seen this in the arcades once or twice. But yeah, the Thunder Force games on all machines are really good. So this will be fun going through as well. You can change your speed ups and fight bosses and various stuff. So that's recommended. Radmobile, an actual racing game on it. I say this one doesn't work correct in MAME. Another one that uses an analog stick in the arcade, but plays alright in here. It plays fine actually. If you notice on the wing mirror, off the mirror, is Sonic hanging there, and this was the first game ever Sonic appeared in. I think this is where they were trying to market Sonic as a character, so they dumped him in here for everyone to see him in this game. So this was the first appearance of Sonic. I remember playing this in Shipley's in Cardiff. They had a sit-down cab when it first came out and really liking it. It is quite a basic racing game these days, to be honest, but I know some of these super scalar games are good fun. Finally, I think this was quite big in Japan when it first came out. I think that's why they put it on here. Got a break, were they? You got to watch as well. Cars are driving the other side of the road and go. If you crash into them, crash into one now, get fully wrecked. So that's not a bad little addition. Like I say, not the best racing game in the world. Maybe Outrun might be in a better shout, but then again, Outrun's on everything, so this is a really good one. Cute and not cute, Success made this the Cotton game. So this is Cotton Arcade with perfect autofire, which is quite hard on Cotton Arcade. This is another game that I wasn't overly fussed on at first because I don't like the collecting the diamonds, the power-ups. But the more I play it, the more I actually think this is actually a really good game. There is a remake coming out of this. I think it's coming out in February or March. You can pre-order, you can, on Amazon Japan. It looks really nice, the remake. I say I am starting to appreciate this game. I do like it now. I used to like Cotton Boomerang is amazing on the Saturn and the arcade. That's really good. This is the original one. This was on the PlayStation. There is a conversion of this on the PC Engine, which is really good as well. So that's a recommended game. And a nice shoot 'em up as well. Try and shimmy through these a bit faster. Arabian Fight. This is another arcade game that doesn't work correctly in MIM. I don't think any of the transparency effects like you've seen then work. So this is quite an interesting one because this hasn't been released anywhere. Two-player again, as most arcade games are. It's quite an interesting one because it's basically a super scalar arcade game. Beat 'em up. Very sort of Guardian Heroes type. You pick up magic when you do magic. So this is definitely an interesting one. Like I said, that doesn't work correctly on MIM. It works rather nice on you. I have seen this in the arcade a few times as well. Pity they couldn't put the Spider-Man arcade game on here, but obviously, licensing must be a bit of a nightmare of that. Fry the boss. Oh, he's kicking my ass. So, yeah, Arabian Fight is an interesting one. It may not be the best beat 'em up in the world, but it's an interesting one. Another game that hasn't been released anywhere either, that doesn't work correctly in MIM either. This is a nice game. Various different characters. This is essentially the third Golden Axe game, I think. But this has got a lot of super scalar stuff. It's really good, this game is. And it's a nice one to have on you because, like I said, it was never released. I think the Mega Drive just couldn't have done it because of the scaling bits. They probably could have cut them out, mind. There is multiple ways to go as well on this. And each character's got lots of different moves. And they got various different magics to use as well. This character gets energy back. But two-player again. Like I say, this is quite good fun. I was playing this quite a bit on the live stream and trying the characters out. There's lots of creatures you can get hold of on yours. Oop, like the praying mantis and various. The creatures are really good actually. Once you get on them, they kick ass. Yeah, so that's a good one. The first ever Puyo Puyo game. Puyo Puyo. And Puyo Puyo was made by Compile. The shoot-up fan, basically. Pretty much the same as part 2, really, but obviously a little bit more of a basic version. But yeah, it's a pretty good puzzle game, Puyo Puyo. Also converted to just about everything. Still don't think Puyo Puyo is as good as Tetris, mine, but if you like a look at this and you've got a Switch or something or a PlayStation, try Puyo Puyo Tetris or Puyo Puyo Tetris 2. It's just been released. Both are best of both worlds then, basically. And that's quite a nice game. So that's Puyo Puyo, another puzzle game. Pretty good. Dark Edge. Very interesting. Another game that doesn't work correctly in MAME, but this is an interesting 3D beat 'em up in 2D. So this was just, you could see where they would experiment and then come up with Virtual Fighter. It's quite a strange game. You can spin around your characters and do moves. It's also really difficult. I don't think the jump really works in 3D. So it's a slightly different one. Ooh. Am I gonna get my ass kicked? Kill me. Yes, it's not the greatest game in the world, but it's definitely an interesting one. This is the other Tantar game. I think this is the original Tantar. I see, these might actually be a bit of fun. Might be good fun in 2-player. Hey. How about? I think it's that one. Ah, close. That one. Hey. I went about. Yeah, so you get lots of different mini games basically. They might be fun. And then we're back to Virtua Fighter. So that's pretty much all the games on the Astro Mini. As you can see, there's plenty of puzzle games on there. There's a few okay games on there, but there is some absolute classics from Sega's past on here. And like I said, a lot of these games do work fine in other emulators, but there's a few games in here that don't, and they seem to run perfect on you. I really like this machine. I think it is the coolest looking out of all the minis because it looks like a mini arcade machine. Even cooler than the Neo Geo one, actually. I think this definitely takes a cake. There's some, like I said, it's got some really good games on here. There's got some games that don't run correctly on MAME on here as well. They seem to run perfect. I'm not quite sure about Wonderboy though. I need to check that one out. Maybe that is what it's like on the arcade. I don't know. Yeah, but everything else seems to run perfect. I really like the joypad. I really like the arcade stick as well. The aesthetics of the arcade stick are very, very nice as well. Like I say, the machine does have a few little issues, like the vertical scrolling does have a little bit of shimmer to it, but it's only literally 1 or 2 games, I think 3 games you're going to notice that in. And it's not really an issue, but it's there. It's still a down point. All the horizontal games are perfect. It's got a really good game list. It's got really nice music. The menu system works. Scanlines are arse, basically. I don't know why it's so hard to get scanlines right, but there you go. Scanlines don't work correct, so I won't be using them. For the probably 10-12 hours I've actually played on this so far, I've been really enjoying it, and there's a lot of stuff in here I'm going to end up coming back to, and I will end up doing a lot of streams playing some of these games. I am going to try and 1-credit some of these. Yeah, I would say, you know, if you want a mini console, this is a damn good one to pick up. As far as I know, it's going to be Japan only though, so you will have to import it. If you can still buy them, they are on Amazon Japan. That's where I got mine from, and they do include import duty and stuff in the postage. With everything, you know, the stick, the pad, the base, and the actual machine itself, it weren't cheap. But I think the machine on its own was about 120. So it's about the same price as most of the mini consoles. Yeah, I think this is actually, I think with the quality of the emulation on this, I can't notice any sound lag like all the other mini consoles have. I can't notice it. It may be there, I don't know. Someone might correct me on that. You know, correct me if that's the case. The input lag seems very low indeed because it feels really responsive. I've had no problems playing any of these games, and I haven't noticed any input lag. I think the quality of the emulation is way better than the other retro consoles as well. So I'm going to say I think this is actually the best mini console so far, and a really cool homage to Sega's classic past. And it does look damn nice on your side, I have to say, especially when it's lit up and like I said, you can play on the machine. You could easily just play this on a desk, no problems. Really nice clicky controls and everything. Like I said, I really like the joystick as well and the accessories. I'm going to say this is definitely the best mini console so far, and I doubt if they're going to release any more games for this because I don't think there's any way of updating it. On a second note though, as far as I know, I have seen a video of a secret test menu which you need a Mega Drive, Japanese 6-button Mega Drive mini pad apparently work on you. And you need to put that in here and you hold down the mode button and one of the buttons when you turn the machine on. And apparently you get a test menu. I've only ever seen one video showing it though. I say the accessories and the pads, they do work on the PC, but they don't seem to work on anything else. I've tried a few joy pads and stuff in here and they don't work, so you're going to have to buy the pad for it essentially. Unless you've got a Mega Drive Mini 6-button pad, you can use that on it. As far as I know, it works. Yeah, so there is that as well. I also have here that they've already hacked it, and I expect that they will probably hack this pretty quick and add more games to it. I have seen the inside of the machine, not myself. I've seen one YouTuber open it up and it looks really well made on the inside. It's all clipped in tight, pieces of plastic in multiple layers and stuff. It looks really well made. So hope you enjoyed the video, guys, and say Merry Christmas to everyone again. Highly recommend the Sega Astro Mini if you fancy picking one up. Really cool console with some fantastic games on here for 1-player and 2-player, and it'll take you a long time to beat all these games and go through them, especially if you want to 1-credit them. It's going to take a hell of a lot of practice, and it does have a pretty fantastic games list. I'd say a few odd ones, but you know, they're always nice to check in anyway. So hope you enjoyed it, guys, and I'll see you soon, I reckon. See you on my live streams. Check me out for the live streams. I will be streaming this again and playing more games on it. So cheers for that, guys. So catch you around. Ta-da!